Hey, it's Dr. Schiller. And yeah, I'm still talking about moving towards health. I love talking about this. I love doing this work with people. I love doing it myself. And it's just so deeply gratifying seeing the impact it has on people. And I'm very appreciative of everyone who has signed up this week to join the new group moving forward in the program, and appreciating all the questions and comments and enthusiasm. And it's very exciting. We're coming to the last days of enrollment. And so if you think you might be interested, hop on it, think about it, figure it out, ask me questions if you got them. But I want to continue with this process of kind of unpacking these 7 steps to healing. And we started talking about the basic stuff at the beginning, like working with mindset and self-regulation, developing compassionate presence. And then we're getting into mindful movement. And mindful movement is, for me, what is, I think, most thrilling because it's just so enjoyable for me personally. Like, I had a long history with this kind of work. I started doing this kind of work before I went to medical school and spent probably 20 years studying Tai Chi and yoga and related movement arts, meditative, mindful movement. And then I went to medical training and started studying the movement system. I was already a mechanical engineer, and there I was studying rehabilitation medicine and pain management. And it was all about how the brain and the spinal cord and the nerves and the muscles and the tissues and the joints work together to make movement happen, how they get sick, and how they heal. So I had developed this really deep felt sense of these things. And so I was watching it as I went through training, learning so much about helping people from a conventional medical point of view. But I always felt like, you know what, there's a way that's more integrative here. Because whereas conventional medicine does amazing things, if you got a fracture, you need joint replacement, or you need surgery or something like that's sometimes what you got to do. But frequently musculoskeletal medicine is focused on the part and not the whole. And as such, it misses a lot of therapeutic potential. And so I was witnessing that going through training, being a good boy, learning what I had to, but also feeling like chomping at the bit, wanting to teach a more integrative approach to this. Because, after studying all this rehabilitation science and doing all this internal work, then I started studying with osteopathic physicians for, a couple of decades. And these osteopaths were so dedicated, masters at understanding living anatomy. And when you study living anatomy, what you find is that it's one unit. Your whole body-mind system is one unit. And your neuromuscular reflexes and all the sensors that tell your body where you are in space are all working together with incredible precision when you're healthy. And learning about the myofascial system, the connective tissue of the body, which head to toes, bones to skin, is a 3-dimensional web that holds everything together. And it has a certain kind of intelligence to it. But in medical school, we just learned how to cut it out of the way so we could see the organs and the muscles and the bones. But now, after having done all this training, what I realize is that it's a profoundly intelligent system that is part of what helps you move and balance and holds everything together and helps you move when you're healthy. And the third level of integration is really the autonomic nervous system, the part of your mind-body system that's about stress, relaxation, get up and go, be active, versus calm down, get quiet, heal, and repair. And you need a stress response to get up and go and move. But the trouble is that when it gets overactive, whether it's systemically because you're stressed out and anxious or had trauma in life, or whether it's locally because you had an injury to a particular part of your body, and at that level of the spine, the autonomic system gets out of balance and it messes up your muscle coordination and your reflexes, and it really creates problems. So you got these 3 integrative systems that help you move like a gazelle, like Michael Jordan, like Wayne Gretzky when you're healthy. And when you're not, when you've had an injury, when you're aging, when you're aging unhealthily, when you've had a serious illness or significant mobility, that integration, that intelligence breaks down. And so what I found when I started working and bringing these principles into practice was seeing tons of patients who had done all the best conventional orthopedic neurologic medicine, and they still weren't getting better. And we just brought these integrative principles together, and voila, something changed dramatically. So movement arts, mindful movement, moving meditation. There's walking meditation, which is its own amazing thing. And then there's moving meditation, which again is drawn from these forms that came from these wise ancient traditions, filtered through modern science and anatomy, that I went and learned and kind of synthesized how to do all these movements and teach them with people. It's such a joy sharing this stuff, like I was saying before. You know, I'm thinking about one person I worked with some years ago. Her name was Barbara. She had early osteoarthritis, meaning kind of a breakdown in her joints, what we used to call wear and tear arthritis, where her joints were getting kind of creaky and stiff, and also developed fibromyalgia, so a lot of pain everywhere. And she did a lot of the quieting meditation type stuff somewhere else. It helped her a lot. She worked through a lot of the different challenging traumatic experience she had had, but still was having a lot of physical discomfort. She got involved doing mindful movement, releasing her tissues in her joints and getting her fascia flowing and reestablishing the coordination in her neuromuscular system and learning to move with more ease and grace and fluidity. And it was like a life changer for her. And it's such a joy. It's so satisfying sharing that kind of thing with somebody and seeing them blossom, seeing them be able to kind of get back to doing a lot more than they could with less pain than they thought they could. So let's get a taste of that. I'm just going to show you what some of this stuff looks like. So you just got to feel for it. You can see it. It's one thing to hear about it, but just to see it. So here we go.
It's really about synchronizing breathing and movement with a quiet mind. You let the mind settle. You let the mind settle into the movements of the body, which helps you quiet your mind. You connect with your breathing. You just let go. We do these warm-ups where it's really about freeing up all of your joints, joint by joint, from your toes up to the base of your skull. Gently, gently, releasing restricted connective tissue, joint capsule, ligaments, getting into the pelvis, the lower back, moving higher up the spine, like level by level, meeting all the vertebrae, releasing the ribs in the upper back, releasing the place where the lower spine connects to the upper spine, getting into the neck, releasing the collarbones, all these structures that get restricted over time. So getting into the shoulder blades, which have profound amounts of muscular and fascial connections to your entire arm, up to the base of your skull, the side of your neck, all the bones of your neck, down to your buttocks, freeing the shoulder blades, releasing the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, exercises that are done in a kind of an advanced way, which really opens up the shoulder. But if your shoulder is restricted, then you do it lower. It's adaptable. It fits your body. An advanced posture of one leg standing, crane spreads wings, opens the chest, the shoulders, builds balance, builds core strength, because you're standing on one leg and your trunk has to be really strong. Not everybody has balance like that, so you do it with your feet on the ground. You take all your weight off except you keep your toe there to help your balance. You don't have to put so much weight on that leg. So you've got arthritic joints or neuropathy. You're building balance. You're building core strength. You're building capacity of your hips, your knees, your lower body. Rotating torsional movements that rotate the spine, that can be done up high and then down low. If you squat down, you're building more leg strength. Get your whole body into it. The movements coming from your feet, moving through your center of gravity out your arms. Learning to move as one unit with fluidity and softness. Slowing down. It's meditation as you get to know the choreography. Deeply quieting. Learning to be in your body with stillness. And then sometimes speeding it up. You want to work out, you want to energize, move faster. Squat down. Get more power into it. Rotating the hips, opening the pelvis, motions that don't happen with walking and cycling.
All right, I hope that was interesting to you. I love these practices. I love what they do for people. I got to stop talking about it. Okay, so Movement Towards Health, online program, live sessions, learning new practices, doing sitting meditation, doing deep body meditations, doing moving meditation, discussion, Q&A, helping you figure out how to do this stuff and make it real for you, helping you figure out which pieces to take forward and learn and practice so that you actually help yourself heal. And then all of that's recorded, and together with this whole library of recordings, that's not only the movement practices, but the meditation practices, downloads of audios that you can use anywhere to do practice, and then didactic sessions where we'll sit down with anatomy pictures and texts and help you see the anatomy, so that when you start working with it and you start breathing your body into it, you actually know what you're touching, you know what you're doing, and you can start to feel it for yourself. And that has an impact when you start to move that anatomy. So, and then last thing, sorry, it's just like the online community, which is not on Facebook. It's in a platform that lets us communicate, it lets us hang out, share information, share resources, lets you ask questions, I can respond, lets people in the group ask questions that others can respond to it. It's a supportive healing community where you develop friends who are also on this journey of healing. So that's kind of an overview of what we're doing. We got about another day or so of the program being open for enrollment. So if you're interested, think about it, figure it out, make a decision. You can find a link to go to see the program page where you can sign up if you want to. You can also leave a comment here or send me a PM or an email if you got any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. And regardless, whatever it is, I hope you find your own healing path. I hope you feel better, get back to life, and